What is going on, you guys? Alex Chasen back here with a brand new video, and today let's talk about the New York Knicks. In my opinion, they are one of the most interesting teams heading into next season. This is a team that could really become the number one seed in the Eastern Conference or just the number two seed again like they were last year. They are going to be really, really good again. I fully believe that. This team could finally see the Eastern Conference Finals again for the first time in a long time. They could also maybe even sneak their way into the finals if things go their way. This is a New York Knicks team that is looking to make it for sure back to the ECF. That is their goal for sure. Finals, I think that would be awesome, but this team should be in the Eastern Conference Finals next year, as long as they are the 1 or 2 seed and the Celtics are the 1 or 2 seed, and obviously they'll meet each other in the conference finals. Of course, it's a long road to get there through the playoffs, but I think it's well understood that those are the two best teams in the Eastern Conference heading into this season. Of course, the Bucks are going to be there, the Pacers are going to be up there, the Magic are going to be even better, the Cavaliers, the 76ers might even surprise people and become a lot higher than I personally think. I think they'll be that 3 through 5 seed, but maybe they are that 2 seed. Maybe they will be, but they have to stay healthy. That's a big if with Paul George and Joel Embiid. But that said, I think right now, heading into the season, it's the Knicks, and then a big step above them is the Boston Celtics. Those are the two best teams in the East. And for the Knicks, I am really high on them. As a Celtics fan, as you can see, I'm repping New England right now. Go Pats, baby. I'm really high on them. I have no hatred towards New York. I really respect them. And today I wanted to talk about the Knicks because I'm really fascinated with how good they'll be this year. Because if you look at their roster, it is loaded. Let's just real quick go back to the offseason, right? They are one of the biggest winners of the offseason. The one team I would put above the New York Knicks is the OKC Thunder for this reason. They got a key piece the Knicks lost in Isaiah Hartenstein. They gave him a bag, shout out to him, but he went to OKC. The Knicks lost him, so that's why I can't put the Knicks above the Thunder. And of course, AC, Alex Caruso also getting traded to the Thunder. That is huge. The Thunder won the offseason. But right behind them and not too far away is the New York Knicks, getting Mikal Bridges, one of the best two-way players in the NBA, 3-and-D players. He is perfect for this team. On top of that, it was up in the air. Were they going to be able to retain OG Anunoby? They did just that. They kept OG. Julius Randle has been in trade rumors. Shut it. I made a video on it over the summer, earlier in the summer. He's not getting traded. It's not happening. This year is a contract year for Julius Randle. Next summer is a player option. He's going to decline it. He wants a bigger contract. If he chooses to go somewhere else at that point, so be it. I'm sure the Knicks will probably give him a contract offer if he balls out this season, and I think he will be because it is a contract year, and he's going to want to earn his contract. So I'm not worried about Julius Randle at all. He's not getting traded unless things don't work at all because Julius Randle now has to play with another star, Mikal Bridges. Unless that flops, which I don't think it's going to, then maybe they'll look at trading him around the trade deadline. But that's not going to happen. This team is going to work really well together. I hated those Julius Randle's rumors. They were going on for so long. They're probably still going on. I just don't even look at them anymore. It's ridiculous. Why would the Knicks want to get rid of their second best player who is going to aid in them going really deep into the playoffs? And if they're going to get that championship, they need Julius Randle. So I don't even want to entertain that. It's over. We're not talking about that anymore today. But let's look at this projected starting five, and then we'll talk about some of my concerns that I have for this team. So Jalen Brunson, of course, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson. This team was already one of the best defensive teams last season. It got even better. Mikal Bridges, another year of OG Anunoby. Julius Randle is not terrible as long as he doesn't have to play center. Mitchell Robinson is one of the best paint defenders in the league. Jalen Brunson, he's the only weak link in that unit, but, he's solid. He can play his role. Off the bench, Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, Miles McBride, Deuce McBride, actually. I don't know why I called him Miles. And then you have Precious Achiuwa, who may not get too much run, but he might have to. We'll talk about Mitchell Robinson in a second, but Precious Achiuwa might have to get some run. Jericho Sims also, can he take a step up with his defense, with his offense? Can he become a reliable, backup or maybe a starting center for this team at some times in this season? But now here's where a few of my concerns come in. One, Mitchell Robinson, his foot has not healed properly from his injury last season. He is going to miss the first 2 or 3 months of the season. They said between November and January 1st. That is a big margin. He's either gonna be ready like a few weeks into the season, I don't think so, or 2 or 3 months into the season. There's a massive range in the article I was reading yesterday. So, assuming Mitchell Robinson is gonna miss the first 2 or 3 months, where are they going to go? Like I started off this video with, they lost Isaiah Hartenstein. He got so much run in the playoffs and the back end of last season because Mitchell Robinson was out, and it really turned out he fit that team a lot better. But he got his bag and went elsewhere. That's fine. Mitchell Robinson, though, they need him to be healthy. He is their only true big man because if you go after him, it's Precious Achiuwa, who's an undersized big at best. He's more of a power forward. He's not guarding anything down low. They have Jericho Sims. They might have to rely on him. I was doing some digging. They have a two-way guy, Ario Hukporti, from the NBL last year. He's a rookie. He's on a two-way deal. But does Tibbs try to see what he can do? But he's their only other 7-footer besides Mitchell Robinson on this team. Jericho Sims is close. He's like 6'10". Precious Achiuwa is nowhere close to 7 feet. They lack a lot of size. But Ario Hukporti is a two-way player from the NBL. I was watching some of his NBL highlights. In Summer League, he averaged 8 and 8. He was solid. He played around 20 minutes, played all 5 Summer League games. He was okay. He can't stretch the floor at all. He's a very low post player, but he does bring, especially from what I saw in his NBL highlights, he brings a ton of athleticism. And you kind of want to run in this New York Knicks offense. You want to be able to run. You want to be able to, kind of move around. And I don't know, maybe Thibodeau, this would be very out of character for him, but maybe he looks at someone like Ario Hukporti while Mitchell Robinson is out. Of course, he's going to give run to Precious Achiuwa, Jericho Sims, and then maybe Hukporti. He's going to get that last opportunity there because Tibbs only plays guys he trusts, which every coach does that, but Tibbs does that to the extreme where he'll only run 7 or 8 guys in the regular season. He won't really go past that too often. But maybe he'll be like, you know what? Let me not do the same thing I've done my entire career, and let's see what one of these two-way guys, Ario Hukporti, can do. Maybe he can provide a little bit of a spark at that center position. He's got size, he's got athleticism. Maybe they'll give him a little bit of opportunity to start the season. I doubt that because it would be very out of character for Tibbs to do, but, maybe we'll see. The most likely scenario with Mitchell Robinson's absence, it's going to be Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, and then Dante DiVincenzo. I mean, Dante DiVincenzo or Josh Hart will be the two, and then the other guys will just slide down. And then at the center position will be Julius Randle. And that blows. Julius Randle is not a paint defender, never has been, never will be. He's already just a average defender. When he tries, he's an above average defender, but he's not always trying his hardest on defense. That's probably one of his only flaws of his game is he lacks defensive intensity. But this team does push him to try harder, and it's a contract year, which I keep going back to. I think Julius Randle is going to be really, really, really good this year because he wants to earn his bag. And if he has to run some center, he's going to have to run some center. In a New York Post article, they got a quote from Tibbs saying, we're probably going to have to do center by committee, which leads me to believe we're going to see Julius Randle at center. We're going to see some really small lineups where maybe even OG Anunoby is guarding centers because OG Anunoby has guarded centers in the past. He can guard 1 through 5 OG. We may see some lineups where if Julius Randle's not in the court, it's going to be OG running center because Tibbs, again, he doesn't want to go to guys he doesn't trust. Precious Achiuwa is going to barely see the court. Jericho Sims is barely going to see the court. They're only going to play when they absolutely have to. And Hukporti, I talked about him because I'm really, really interested to see if he can play some NBA basketball, but I doubt Tibbs is going to want to see if he can play some NBA basketball. He's probably never going to see a New York Knicks court, really, until maybe if they absolutely have to. But I just wanted to talk about him because I'm interested in him. I doubt Tibbs is going to give him the time of the day. But yes, either way, I am really, really high on the New York Knicks. It's just for these first couple months, the Mitchell Robinson absence, they're going to be a little bit tied up with how they're going to run rotations. Now, the NBA is going more small, but if you're playing a team like the Spurs that has a lot of size, especially that man Victor Wembanyama, what are they going to do? Not much. Or if they play the Boston Celtics, now fortunate for them in the first half of the season, also KP is going to be out. But let's say Mitchell Robinson gets hurt again. That would not be out of the realm of possibilities. Mitchell Robinson is out for the playoffs again, the back end of the season again, whatever it may be. How are they going to match up with the Boston Celtics? That's their really major competitor. How would they match up with that? Or even how are they guarding Giannis? How are they going to do that? They need Mitchell Robinson. So although I am extremely high on them, I think they are the second best team in the East. They have the capabilities to be the best team in the East if everything goes well. They need Mitchell Robinson. And there's so many question marks surrounding his health. So believe it or not, I don't think I would ever have said this in the past, but the Knicks' success really relies on Mitchell Robinson being healthy, because the centers after him, or what the rotations would look like without him long term, first couple months of the season, it's whatever, they'll survive. They survived the Julius Randle injury. They'll survive without Mitchell Robinson. They've had to do it for years on and off. But at the end of the day, if they want to get to where they want to get to, they need Mitchell Robinson to be healthy, because he does provide so much defense, and he does provide a good, post presence on offense as well. And he can run with these guys. He's athletic. He's really good in this rotation. He can't space the floor, but he doesn't need to when he's surrounded by Randle, OG, Mikal, and Jalen Brunson, Hart, and DiVincenzo, Miles McBride off the bench. He doesn't need to be able to shoot, but they need him if they want to get to the ECF, if they want to get to the finals. They need that paint presence on defense, really. That's really where they need him. So, again, never thought I'd say this, but as the more I'm talking about it in today's video, the Knicks need Mitchell Robinson to get to where they want to get to. If not, they're going to have to trade for another center, which there's not really anything I can really see right now that they'd want to go to, because they'd have to give up some pieces, and they don't want to do that. They have a really good thing brewing. They have the Villanova boys. They have a great unit. They have a really, really good coach. Everything is flowing in the right direction for the New York Knicks. Before I close this video, one stat I'm really interested to see how it plays out this season is the average scoring margin, or scoring differential. So the Boston Celtics last year were a minus almost 11. That's the average they won games by. In 82 games, they had an average scoring margin of minus 11. That's insane. After them was the OKC Thunder at minus 7.5, basically. Timberwolves at minus 6. Denver at minus 4.3. And then the New York Knicks at 5 at minus 3.7. And the reason why it's so impressive from last year's Knicks team is because points per game wise, for how many points they were putting up each night, it wasn't that many. They ranked 18th in points per game at 112 points per game. Whereas the Boston Celtics, they ranked 4th, the Bucks at 3, the Thunder at 2, the Pacers at 1, who had one of the best offenses ever last year. But it was such their defensive identity. Their offense was obviously good, but it was middle of the road PPG-wise. But it was their defense, holding teams to 108 points per game. So again, you look at all the teams with the scoring margins, they all averaged a lot of points last year, but they also had great defenses. The Knicks offense isn't bad, but it's not super high powered. It's their defense that wins them ball games. And they already have that identity. And my point is, it's only going to be better this year adding Mikal. So I'm really interested to see how that scoring differential is this season. So after everything I've said today, I am so high on the New York Knicks if they are fully healthy, which eventually they hopefully will be when Mitchell Robinson comes back and all of that. They'll be fully healthy at one point in this season. But you have Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, off the bench, Dante DiVincenzo, Deuce McBride, Josh Hart. It is such a great team. In my opinion, Dante DiVincenzo is my sixth man of the year. In my awards video I made a few days back, I have Dante DiVincenzo as my sixth man of the year. It's a little bit of a hot take, yes, I'll agree with that. It's a slight hot take, but Dante DiVincenzo averaged 15 PPG last season. If he does that again, and a majority of his games are off the bench, and the Knicks are the number 1 or number 2 seed again in the East, there's no reason why Dante DiVincenzo cannot be in the running for sixth man of the year and maybe even win the award. Of course, he has to compete with Naz Reid, Malik Monk, two others great six men in this league, but the New York Knicks are going to be really, really good. Even so, if Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks are the number 1 seed in the East, which I don't think they will, I think that'll be the Celtics again, but let's just say they are the number 1 seed, and even if they're the number 1 seed in the entire NBA, give Jalen Brunson that MVP. I think he is going to be even better than last year. It's another year of being a superstar in the NBA. This team is going to be really entertaining to watch. So anyways, hopefully you guys did enjoy today's video, and let me know down in the comments below. If healthy, Mitchell Robinson is healthy, no more injuries this season for him, everything stays relatively healthy for this New York Knicks team, what is their peak this year? Because in my opinion, their peak is getting to the ECF, and maybe, just maybe, if everything goes right, to the NBA Finals. I don't quite see that right now. I think the Celtics are still the team to beat, of course. They're the defending champions, and I think they're still far and away better than every other team in the NBA. But right behind them is the New York Knicks if they are healthy. Now, on the contrary, if they are not healthy, Mitchell Robinson goes down or some other injuries come up and flare up, is this a failed season for the New York Knicks if they don't taste the Eastern Conference Finals? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I'll see you guys very soon. And like always, peace out.